Hello YouTube, Fuzz here, welcome back to Week Mode of Final Fantasy XII. We won't be doing a whole lot of fighting in this episode, but what we will be doing is very important, and that's unlocking the second license board for each character and giving them their second job. I'm going to show you what job combinations I'm going for, why I'm choosing those, and why I think you would do well to choose them. Though you're not obligated to, you can, even as with the normal playthrough, pick many different combinations of jobs and still make your way through most of the game, I believe. But these are the ones I'll be going for, and hopefully it will be helpful to you too. Let's get on with it. Just before we begin then, I wanted to once again give credit to Theodrix over at GameFAQs.com for coming up with these particular job combinations that took my fancy. So thank you very much, Theodrix, and hopefully we'll get far throughout this playthrough. So Varn is going to select the White Mage as his second job. We've already got him as a Black Mage. And yes, he's going to be able to do lots of nice magic damage when we need that, but he's also going to be a pretty decent healer as well. Balthea is going to be one of our two tanks, along with Piniella, and the Monk class gives him access to a whole bunch of plus HP, 3000 plus HP. As you can see by his HP total already, we're boosting that up. And he's also going to have access to light armour, as well, of course, as to swords and shields, which is what we need. Right then, so Fran is going to be one of our two main sources of damage, along with Bash. She's going to be using the machinist role along with the Black Mage job, and machinist is going to give you access to guns, which are the strongest weapons in a weak mode playthrough, due to the fact they are not going to have their damage based on your levels. All other melee weapons and range weapons, in fact, do. So what Fran is going to do is obviously do a lot of damage, but unlike Bash, she's not going to be kept under Berserker status. And the reason for that is she's going to have access to some pretty decent buffs, such as Hastegar, a little bit later anyway, once we've got the Famfrit Esper, and other abilities such as Decoy, Bubble, Reverse as well. So she's not going to be under Berserker status, but she's still going to be doing a lot of damage, as well as taking on that support role at the same time. Next up we have Bash, who, as you can see, is also our machinist, our second machinist, and he's going to be our main source of damage throughout the entire game. And that's because not only is he going to be using guns as well, but he's also going to be combining those with adrenaline use and infuse as well. So what adrenaline does, it's an ability you can learn on the license board, and it increases your damage when you're in critical health stage. And we're going to combine that with infuse, which is a technique that Bash can learn as a machinist knight, and what that is going to do is allow you to bring him into critical status because of his low MP total. So he's going to be doing massive amounts of damage, and we're going to eventually give him the Berserker bracers to boost that even more. And on top of that, he has access to 3 swiftness licenses as well, so he'll be going a little bit faster, since guns are naturally slow weapons to use. Next up then we have Ashe, who is our White Mage and Time Battle Mage. So she is going to be our buffer, our best buffer in fact. She has access to pretty much all the buffs: Hastegar, Protectgar, Shalgar, Faith, Bravery, Decoy, Reflectgar, Reverse, Bubble, Float, and she can also do some offensive stuff as well, offensive debuffs such as Stop and Disable, Confuse, Immobilize, as well as being able to cast Oil in order to boost our fire spells from our Black Mages. And she can also, in a pinch, cast Gravigar and Holy damage for just some, flat out damage where nothing else is appropriate. Sadly, the only thing she doesn't really have access to in terms of debuffing are Sleep Gar and Blind Gar, or just the normal versions of those spells as well. Finally then, we have Piniella, who's going to be our main tank eventually, once we've boosted her licenses up quite a bit. And the reason for that is she's going to have access to 2 shield blocks and 3 remedy laws, as well as 3 swiftnesses. And on top of that, she's also going to have a whole host of useful spells as well, since she's going to be the Red Mage and Shikari combo. That means she's going to be able to cast Decoy, Oil, Curagar for healing as well, as long as we distribute our Espers correctly, but I'll talk about that as we get them. Reflect, Disable and Immobilize, and on top of all that, she's also going to be able to buff along with Protectgar, Shalgar, and she's also going to be able to cast Sleepgar where Ashe can't. And then she's going to have some nice black magics as well to supplement our other black magic users when we need her. And she's going to have access to Firegar, Thundergar and Blizzardgar. And on top of all of that, it's possible we can give her Gil Toss as well, which is also going to come in useful in at least 1, maybe 2 very strong boss battles later on. And that's pretty much all of it. I mean, we'll see the strategies more, obviously, as we actually get into battle and whatnot. A few people have asked to see my license board, so I'll show those to you now. Although, really, there's nothing special about what I've been learning. Because you get license points so quickly in trial mode, and throughout the game, especially at high speed mode, there's really no need to worry too much about what order you learn things in. But feel free, if you want to copy what I've got, to go ahead and pause each one of these here. But as I say, there's really no need to do so. Okay, just show you Bash and his machinist. And then Ashe. Hopefully you can see all them. And then finally we have good old Piniella, who, as I say, will eventually be our main tank. But not right yet. Probably won't be long though. And we'll be using her instead of Balthea mostly. And then Balthea will be backup tank. But anyway guys, that's pretty much all I have to bring for you today. So I hope this video has helped. If it has, don't forget to leave a like for me. I really appreciate that. And come back soon for more Final Fantasy XII week mode. So we've got some more story coming up with a few more bosses. And hopefully we'll manage those okay. Especially with our double jobs now. But we'll see how we get on. But that's it from me for today, guys. Goodbye.